Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into WanGP. If you've ever felt completely left behind by the absolute insane hardware requirements of modern AI, well, this explainer is going to be a massive breath of fresh air. Our main focus today is squarely on getting you from absolute zero to generating your own content, with a super simple, straightforward guide to installing and actually using WanGP as a completely new user. So let's just address the elephant in the room right away, right? We all know the frustration. You see this incredible new generative AI model drop online, you go to download it, and then your heart just sinks. You realize it requires some massive $3,000 graphics card with 24 gigabytes of VRAM just to turn the thing on. For most of us, that's just a total roadblock. It creates this huge divide between what the models can theoretically do and what we can actually run locally on our own machines.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how WanGP absolutely shatters that barrier. Instead of the standard expectation where you literally need the newest, most expensive hardware to run basically anything, the WanGP reality is completely different. You can run high-performance generative models on older NVIDIA and AMD cards with as little as 6 gigabytes of VRAM. It completely democratizes access to these state-of-the-art tools. So what exactly is it? Well, to quote the creators directly, WanGP is a one-stop super app providing the best open-source generative models accessible to the GPU poor. And I honestly absolutely love that affectionate phrasing. It's built from the ground up to empower everyday users, packaging basically everything you need into one highly optimized, incredibly accessible ecosystem.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap. First, we'll cover breaking the hardware barrier. Second, we'll meet the WanGP super app. Third, what you can actually generate. Fourth, a step-by-step installation guide. And fifth, getting to your very first generation.
All right, moving into Section 1, Breaking the Hardware Barrier, AI for the GPU poor.
I want to specify exactly what hardware is actually supported here, just so you know exactly where you stand. WanGP supports NVIDIA cards ranging all the way back to the older GTX 10 series, right up to the modern 50 series. If you're on Team Red, AMD RDNA 2, 3, 3.5, and 4 are all supported. And, get this, they've even added early Apple MBS support for Mac users. But best of all, it features architecture-aware downloads. What does that mean? It means the app automatically detects exactly what hardware you have and fetches the precise model files perfectly suited for your specific machine. No guessing, no manual tweaking. Which brings us to Section 2, Meet the WanGP Super App, your offline studio.
So how does all this build into a complete ecosystem? You see, OneGrid isn't just some basic script you run in a terminal. It's a full-fledged offline studio. And a huge part of that magic is DP. DP is your 100% free, built-in offline agent. Because it runs locally, requiring as little as 8 gigabytes of VRAM, it keeps all your prompts and ideas totally private, which is a massive relief if you're working on sensitive projects. You can literally ask DP to orchestrate tedious jobs while you step away. Things like transcribing video, extracting specific frames, generating black frames, or even running full multi-step workflows. It's kind of like having a dedicated production assistant living right inside your app.
Beyond DP, the whole super app feature set is designed to completely remove all technical friction. You get a sleek, full web browser interface to manage everything. You can line up videos, images, and audio in generation queues and literally just walk away while your machine crunches the numbers. It has built-in galleries, background removers, mask editors, and it automatically fetches quantized formats like int8 and gguf, which, by the way, is really just a fancy way of saying it grabs the specific, highly compressed file types that make running these massive models possible on much smaller GPUs.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how we move into Section 3. What can you generate? Multimodal magic.
The sheer scope of what we're talking about here is just incredible. WanGP gives you access to the absolute top tier of open-source models, all sitting in one place. For video, you can run powerhouses like WAN 2.1 and 2.2, or even LTEX 2. For images, you have access to Flux 1 and 2 and Qwen. But wait, it doesn't stop at visuals. For audio and text-to-speech, you can use A-Step to generate incredible songs, or OmniVoice and SeedVC for lifelike voice cloning and talking heads. It's a true multimodal powerhouse, letting you go straight from a text prompt to a full cinematic voice-acted scene.
Let's move into Section 4, our step-by-step installation guide. Getting started.
Okay, let's slow the pace down a little bit here.
This is absolutely the most crucial part for new users, and I want to reassure you that getting this set up is completely manageable. I've mapped out the alternative installation path so you can confidently pick the method that perfectly matches your technical comfort level. For the vast majority of you, the one-click script is going to be the absolute easiest and best path. It handles basically everything automatically across Windows, Mac, and Linux. Now, if you already use the Pinocchio app manager, there's a quick route for you too. If you prefer containerized, clean setups on Linux, Docker is fantastic. And of course, there's a manual route if you're an expert who wants to do all those custom tweaks.
So let's walk through that highly recommended one-click auto installer. It is incredibly straightforward. Step 1, you just download the install.bat file if you're on Windows or install.sh for Linux or Mac. Step 2, run it and choose the auto install type. Step 3, once it finishes, just double-click run.bat to launch the app. Honestly, what makes this script so brilliant is that it automatically installs all the best acceleration kernels for your specific GPU, things like Triton and Flash Attention. Actually, scratch that. Doing that stuff manually is usually a massive headache, so having a script handle it is a total game changer. Another massive lifesaver built into these scripts is the Sandbox Environment Manager. Let's say you have a setup working perfectly, but you kind of want to test a new update. You don't have to risk breaking your working app. You simply launch manage.bat, create a new testing environment, and set it as active. If the new update totally breaks something, no worries. You just open the manager again and switch your active environment back to your stable version. It takes literally all the fear out of updating.
Now, if you decide to go with those alternative installers, I've got a couple of pro tips for you. If you're using the Pinocchio app, the documentation highly recommends using the community scripts created by a user named Morpheus for the absolute best results, rather than just the default official Pinocchio install. And if you're going the Docker route on a Debian system, there's an automated script provided that seamlessly handles auto GPU detection and mounts your cache directories perfectly for optimal performance. Those insider tips will save you a ton of troubleshooting.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 5, making your first generation the next steps. You've broken the hardware barrier, you've got the app fully installed, and now it's time to make your first generation. When you first launch that web interface, you're going to see a lot of options, and yeah, it can feel a little overwhelming. Don't panic. Just direct your attention right to the top of the interface and click the Guides tab. This is exactly where new users should go. The developers have curated a really specific selection of recommended models here to help you start your journey without getting lost in the weeds of all those advanced settings. It's basically the perfect, safe sandbox for your very first few prompts. So the crucial point is this number, 6 gigabytes of VRAM. That is literally all that stands between you and a local, completely private, high-performance artificial intelligence studio. WanGP has absolutely rewritten the rules on who gets to participate in the generative AI revolution. We've covered the amazing multimodal tools, the incredibly easy installation process, and exactly how to protect your setup with those safe testing environments. The barrier to entry has officially been removed. You have the guide, you have the tools, and the hardware requirement is lower than it has ever been. So now that you have a local AI super app sitting right at your fingertips, what will you create first? Get installing, have some fun with it, and start exploring.